am here with the beautiful Dion. She is a master developer. She is the best. And I'm coming here every Monday with a new guest at 8 p.m. to give you the game you need, right? So, Dion, do us a huge favor and introduce yourself, babes.
Hi, beautiful people, and thank you so much, Mrs. Cashflows, for inviting me, Miss Aquila, for inviting me on your platform. I am Deontay Chantel, real estate developer. I'm out of New Jersey. I'm originally from Brooklyn, New York, and I invest and develop throughout the country. And I got the honor of meeting you on social media and through other platforms. So thank you for having me.
You're more than welcome. This is so super exciting, right? I like to bring new perspectives on here and just the idea of meeting someone that's a woman that's into development and has accomplished such things that you have. So what I want to say before I really get into me, well, just so you know, since we're on your platform as well, I'll introduce myself. So I am Mrs. Cashflows, all platforms. I help entrepreneurs achieve funding within 6 months or less. So I help you become funding ready. It doesn't matter where you are, where you're trying to go. I help you cross over to the funding side. So what I specialize in is getting you unstuck. A lot of people are stuck in certain places. Is either that they're used to using cash for business or they just have not taken that time to build out their foundation. And so I am giving out a checklist. So just type the word checklist if you're on Instagram or DM me at any time to receive it. Before we go any further, Dion, I want you to really talk about the different projects that you're into because she's just not like someone that just does like a few development projects here or there. She's actually into specialized projects. Tell them about like some of the projects that you're doing in the Midwest and in Chicago.
Yes. Right now, we have a number of projects in the Kansas City market where we'll be building literally $250 million project. So it will consist of homes, like 70 homes for first time home buyers and municipal workers. And then we have another phase of it where we'll solve a food desert issue. In that area, they don't have supermarkets, right? They don't have access to food. So that's considered a food desert. So we'll be building a mixed use building. It'll have about 250 units. And on the commercial level, it will have retail and that supermarket that I just mentioned. So that's going to be a really big project. It also has like a recreational or castle that we're building as well for weddings and hotel venues. Is really going to be an awesome addition to the city of Kansas City. And then in Chicago, we just won 5 parcels of land where we'll be building 15 units for workforce development. Again, we're targeting middle income individuals, people that work for the municipality, nurses, doctors, teachers, not really doctors, excuse me, teachers, municipal workers, the individuals who typically don't qualify to get discounted homes. That is our demographic, and I'm really excited about that project. It came with a lot of bells and whistles, such as a grant to help us with construction costs. So we'll talk more details about that later.
Oh, that's super dope. So tell us a little bit about your background. Like, how did you even get into this space? And if someone else was interested, because you know we talked, and if someone was interested in getting started in something like this and getting their first project, what does that look like?
Yes. So my background, I started out as a realtor initially, went into the legal aspect of real estate, but in the investment space, I started out as a wholesaler. Okay, so I started out with pretty much no capital, was fired from a job, but over the course of like 2 years of being fired or laid off, I was able to build my own capital for my projects. I was able to partner with individuals, and then I dove right into real estate development, and that is doing new construction. Of course, we had properties where we were buying and holding, and servicing our voucher tenants who were being discriminated against heavily in the East Coast. And we were able to help families. And then ultimately, I just said, you know what, it makes more sense to start building homes from the ground up. And that has been my niche going forward. Like, I don't think I could really go back and do a rehab like before. So, only mainly because the returns are better, um, and it's easier to actually do. So,
Yeah, rehabs, you really need to know what you're doing and the sweat equity and all the other stuff that comes along with that. Um, that's why I was like mostly interested in you coming on and just kind of talking about what it is that you do. And so what is the barrier of entry to get into? Because you've had an interesting like track record and experience which kind of led you to doing what it is that you do. And now that I'm speaking to you about it, I think that's everybody. Like I can say the same for me for what it is that I do.
mhm,
We think that everything doesn't count, but it does. Everything that you're doing is actually a preparation for where you end up or where you are right now. Is
every
that not true?
so my very first cash buyer while I was wholesaling helped me get into real estate development. So you just never know who you're going to meet along the journey that's going to actually help you. And one of my first partners, um, I met her through somebody that I met at AT&T when I was 19 years old. So you just never know how God is going to interject people into your life um, to help you, right? Whether or not you decide to work with them continuously, but He will use anybody to bless you, right? So literally, my very first cash buyer is actually like a father to me and my mentor still. He helped me get into real estate development.
That's crazy.
To this day, I still don't know how he got my number.
You see?
So
No, like I think you just putting yourself in position and kind of like, did you have a desire
yes,
to develop your
he didn't even know when he told me I should do real estate development. He didn't even know that was my dream and my goal that I literally uttered out my mouth probably 3 or 4 years before, actually, like 4 to 5 years before that. So he had no clue because I never really talked to him about it. I only talked to him about, just being a landlord, never about building container homes or building homes in my community, brand new homes. So he had no idea. He was just like, this is the new wave. This is what you need to do. And he told me that in 2018. So
wow. What
mhm.
year did you develop your first
We actually didn't build out a full project until 2022. Um, we purchased our parcels from the city of Newark and East Orange. That process took a couple of years to fully get it in our hands. And then I lost everything. It's a lot of different moving parts. So it took me from the time I got designated in 2019, I didn't start building until 2022.
okay.
Yep.
And I think everything is timing,
Yeah.
like with me. So for those of you who do not know my story, I say it over and over again, but you just can never assume because every time I tell it, I get a DM and they're like, "Oh my God, I did not know your story. That was powerful." So for me, everything is literally has led me here. So I was working for AT&T as well. They paid for me to go to college. I started out in their collections department, went to customer service. Then eventually someone invited me to the network team. One of my best friends who had got me hired, she was like, "Girl, I'm gonna get you on that team." And I was like, "Okay." And that's how I got into tech. And I was successful at a very young age, and I was the most successful person around. And that's not a healthy environment. Just so you'll know, if you're the smartest person in your circle,
Mhm.
you need to get out. All
Yep.
right. And I learned the hard way. So here it is. I got terminated on the streets after being a consultant because, of course, AT&T is famous for laying folk off. They laid me off. I kept going, started consulting, got fired on the street. And I was like, this cannot work. I have to do something else. That's how I ended up in the Airbnb industry, in the real estate industry. I've done some wholesales myself. I thought I would fix and flip. So when I first got into the community, they partnered me with a senior guy. He was flipping and developing like multiple projects at the same time.
Mm.
And to see someone like him lose, I was more upset than him. He he was standing to make like six figures each of this three home project in this new hot community. Something happened where developments came in and the homes were priced lower than what he anticipated. So now
Right.
it's not worth that anymore. I was like, oh my God, I can't do this. So eventually I went into Airbnb,
Right.
killed it. That's how I got the name Mrs. Cash Flows. It is not from funding. I have to say that because I don't want, people think like, oh, Mrs. Cash Flows, you do funding. This is from cash flowing units, doors. So he gave me this name. And so it kind of stuck from my Instagram handle. That's literally how I started being called that. And didn't work out. So I wasn't paying attention to the competition. I did not build out business credit, had everything personally guaranteed, leases in my name, buildings, properties in my personal name, didn't listen to my mentor. And I was personally liable for all of that. And that is a really bad situation to be in. And the constant, if you're an entrepreneur of any sort, and for some reason you think that building business credit is about getting a credit card or you're going to go into debt. I even had someone say to me on my mentee call today that his team is asking him, like, why are you doing all of this? If you get the gas card, aren't what if we get audited by the IRS? I'm like, what? That was a new one on me. That
Mm.
was a new one on me to think that the government is going to monitor how you use your business credit card. I was like, we definitely need financial literacy. And that's why I'm giving out a free checklist, guys. Type checklist, DM me the word checklist just to see if you're funding ready and start there for sure.
Yeah. And I was gonna just add to what you were saying. Well, I have a checklist too I could give out for free. But timing is everything, like you said. And this is why I'm not ashamed to tell people it took me from 2019 to 2022 because during 2022, I mean during COVID, so many builders went underwater.
Mm,
The cost of materials skyrocketed. So it just was not my time. It was, they say delay and rejection is God's protection. And I'm a true believer of that. So I was able to go from zero to a $500,000 that same year of 2022. And then my company actually made seven figures
wow.
collectively. So it's all about timing. It's not really about the opportunity. Even right now, there's a lot of different moving parts in the world right now. So I'm not even like in a rush to do anything. I'm like, God, when is your time? When you give me the green light, cool. I'm moving forward on things, but we really don't know what's around the corner right now. Right, it's today, right? June
Mm,
23rd. Um, we're like potentially a pending war, even though I think they said they have a peace treaty now. I don't know. I don't trust them.
hmm.
If you're watching the news, girl, I don't
I
trust
know, right? It's
them. That
crazy.
is a peace treaty, right?
Yeah.
But then Holy Spirit is saying something different, right? So we just have to be mindful and watchful as to what's going on. Try to get in and out of deals, right? And make sure you have your direct resources to vendors. Of course, in China, while it's still affordable, you probably want to do bulk orders, I will say, because material could go up again, unfortunately. So,
So what does your team look like? Like,
mhm.
talk
Yeah.
about that a little bit.
So I have a number of teams because I'm in different states. So New Jersey, PA area. I have three teams that I trust. I have a team, a team, and a C team. Um, and then Chicago, I have two teams because I'm building out these projects. I actually have three teams as well, but the third one, we don't have no agreement, but we have two teams ready to go, rock out. They work fast, they work with integrity. Um, I have a lot of consultants. So I have financial consultants that help me get grants. I have grant writers. I have uh, lenders, of course, right? And I have realtors that have my back, political liaisons, community engagement people. Real estate development is really a contact team sport. So one person drops the ball, it can fumble your whole deal. So and I'm a woman. I'm just a girl. So with that being said, I really do need people who are coming with 20 plus years of experience to really help me. And a lot of the oldest person on my team is 70 years old, and he's been doing it for 50 years.
Wow. So
So
what role do you play on the team? Are you the G?
no, I'm just a developer. I don't GC my projects anymore. At this moment. So we are getting our license in PA for some projects we'll be doing with the land bank. But outside of that, I'm just going to be hiring the people. I'll have a project manager or construction manager running that whole job site. I don't want to be at job sites every day hounding grown men to do a job. That's not what I want to do. I'll be ready to fight you if you're not executing. You know what I'm saying? With my money, you playing. I've been fought you. So we need a man to do that. That's a man's job.
Exactly.
So I'm really just the quarterback. I'm the one telling people what to do, putting the right people in the right places so they can perform and make me look good and make us as a team look great. So that's what a developer is. People really think a developer is you being at a job site. No, it's not. It's being an investor in new development or new construction and or redevelopment. But it's really gathering everyone and facilitating everything and yielding a reward at the end, getting everybody to the Super Bowl and winning. So that's how I like to look at it for sure.
100%. I wish I could see some of their questions. If you have any questions, definitely ask. Um, what I'll say for anyone that's looking to get started with business funding, definitely pull your personal credit profile, audit your business itself, take a look at whatever you have going on at the Secretary of State, Duns and Bradstreet, your EIN letter, and just make sure everything is congruent. This is the biggest thing or the biggest mistake that entrepreneurs make. They just go for funding. They think that it's the same as going for your personal. Like we'll just walk in and ask for a credit card or ask for someone to approve us for a home or a car. And we'll do that for our business, but we forgot we didn't build out the business credit profile yet. We didn't build out the LLC. It's not fundable yet. We don't look credible as a business. So not only do your personal credit need to be in order, your cash flow needs to be in order, your business credibility also needs to be in order. Because like even like with development, what I understand to be true, like I wouldn't be able to just go and say, hey, even if I had the funds, I want to develop this project and then ask the bank to give me a little something on it. They'll be like, what's your experience? Like,
Well,
no, you
sometimes.
have to partner with someone, right?
Right. So right now there are some great programs out there where you can just leverage your team and come to the table with 5%. So in order for you to get a 5% loan, that would be a full doc loan. They will want all of your tax returns. They will want bank statements. Um, and you might have to close it in your personal name. But at least you're not having to come to the table with 30%
So
plus.
what does that look like? So I can close a home in my personal name at 5%.
Yeah, a full doc loan.
What type of projects can I get? Do they cap like how many levels, how many doors?
You're only going to be able to do 1 to 4 units.
Okay.
Yeah, 1 to 4 units.
Okay.
Yeah.
So to do like still considered like what do they call it? Owner occupancy?
No, it would no. So they have a program. They have two. So they have one where you would be an owner occupied, individual, aka you have to live there for those who don't know. And then they have another program which is more conventional, and you'll be as long as it's your second property, second home or something they call it, or second investment property,
Yeah.
then they'll still give it to you,
Okay.
and it's going to be 5% down. So if you own the home you live in now and you want to go buy a home in New Jersey or wherever in the United States, and you're going to say that's your second home, um, you don't have to live there, but or your second investment or your investment property, you don't have to live there, and you still pay 5% down, and you're
Okay.
fully leveraging the experience of the builder, and they're going to be very hard on the builder. He has to be a real competent builder who's probably done 10 plus deals in the last 2 years.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah. So, and that protects you, right? So, yeah.
Okay, so let me ask you this. So I know with getting that personal loan and you putting down 5% on your second home, um, is this just your personal W-2 income, or do they also include any income you could potentially receive from rents? Like, what structure out a deal for us? Like, what does that look like?
I'll just answer it like this because I'm not a lender, but it's going to be all your income. So if you're getting child support, alimony, you have three side businesses, whatever you're filing, you're reporting to the IRS, it has to show, right? Um, and if you're showing you're only making 20K a year, you're not building a house. Like it's not, they're not giving you a mortgage because it has to be that you can afford the house that you're building and afford that mortgage. Um, I hope I answered that part of the question. What was the other part of the question?
Well, I guess what I'm trying to say is like, give us like a real hypothetical deal of someone that's getting approved. Like, say for instance, you're working with me, and I'm like, hey, I want to develop this home in Atlanta, and what is required? Like, do I have to go out and buy the land? Like,
Okay. Yes.
yeah, like my W-2, what should it look like? Like, say, like how much does it cost? Like hypothetically.
Um, I'm not, so for those listening, again, I'm not a lender. So I'm not gonna, you got to contact your lender, but I'm gonna give you hypothetical so you can understand it. So they have a program called the one-time close loan, and they will buy the land for you. They will give you the construction costs, and you roll that loan into a 30-year mortgage. So you're not even refinancing it. That loan, so the cost for the land and the cost to build the house is going to be rolled into a 30-year mortgage. Okay? So you're not worried about interest rates going up and down. You're not worried about all this paperwork and extra closing costs because you're having one closing. And that closing is going to cover the land, it's going to cover the actual cost to build, which they're not going to give you all the money for the cost to build. They're going to pay you out in draws in the phases of the project. And they're going to come and inspect it. So if it doesn't pass their inspection or it doesn't pass city inspections, that builder is not going to be reimbursed, or you're not going to be. It's really the builder. So the builder is also going to have to be able to front some of the money on certain parts of the projects and get reimbursed as well. And this is why you have to make sure you have a competent builder who has the liquidity and the bonding to get these type of projects done. Um, what I believe you will have to pay for is, of course, that 5% that we spoke about. And also, you're going to have to most likely have pre-development dollars. Okay. That's your plans. You're probably going to have to pay that, just so
Okay.
everybody know.
So
Unless I'm missing something, but you typically will have to have that money saved. You might, if I have good relationships. So if you could build a relationship with the builder and his architect team, whoever he's been using, they may just bill it into the cost of building a home. Especially if you're building something that they've already done. They're just taking that, copying and pasting it onto that lot, that parcel that you have. If it's something easy and cookie cutter, they may discount it in, or they may roll that into the cost of the build. It all depends on how you structure it.
and this is just for a single family home only.
Single to 4 units, yeah.
Singles with 4 units. All right,
Yep.
awesome. And they don't care if you've already owned a home previously. This can be your second.
This could definitely be your second.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's some sauce right there. So a lot of people, but the challenge would be for anyone interested in doing that is finding a competent developer. But that do you think doing it that way would be more beneficial or economical for a person than just going out and buying a single family home?
It depends on your market. I can't speak for everybody's market. It depends. If you're in a market where it's just high, they probably don't matter, right? Um, my market, new construction homes are worth $900,000, and so you should be able, if you have the right team. Let's just say that. Like me, I can help you get cheap land, but it's not a guarantee, right? So if you're buying land on your own in my market, you're paying about $200,000 for land. Okay, I'm getting it way cheaper. But if you're getting it for 200K, if you have a competent builder, like I don't pay market value to build homes, so I'm paying probably about 450K. So if we buy the land for 200K and we pay it 450 or less in most cases, that's 650. Let's say you add on another 50K for pre-development dollars. Actually, it's 35K, but okay, we'll say 35K. That's to get your plans. We're at 685, and I just said it was worth 900,000. So I'll be buying that property with built-in equity. If you go ahead and buy a rehab property, guess what? Those rehab properties are coming in around the same 758. So you would have a bigger spread just buying it starting from the ground up. Okay. So that's just my 2 cents. And that's in my market. Your market may look I don't really know Atlanta market right now, even though I have tons of deals in Atlanta right now. I haven't, well, the Atlanta area, I haven't really studied what's happening. But my market, I can tell you what's happening. Kansas City, Chicago. Chicago is another good one. The land doesn't even cost 200K. The land only probably costs about 80,000, and you could sell it for 800.
Crazy.
Crazy. The cost of build is about the same.
Yeah.
So yeah. So if you can get into markets where the returns are just really high for new construction, I'm going to tell you to do new construction all day.
Okay, awesome. Thank you for explaining that. So I just wanted to like have like a real, you answered that beautifully
Oh,
so that they can kind of understand, because real estate and developing itself can be just so confusing. I understand what you're saying, but I just wanted them to kind of like get like a picture in their mind of a
right.
real example of
And I
what's.
hope I explained it, y'all. I hope.
Yeah, because it's like, why develop? You know, if I could just go buy it. Well, she just told you if you're in Jersey, you could save 300,000, or it could be $300,000 in equity in the home.
Mhm.
But the challenge would be finding a competent and reputable person to work with for sure.
Right. And this is why you have to get in the right communities because you're gonna get got. Okay. I write people's proposals sometimes so they can go bid on, city owned land and get the land for cheap. And the numbers I see from the builders are crazy. Like literally. Um, this one young lady, her builder, and this is supposed to be her partner. I'm like, this is your partner charging you $700,000 approximately to build a 2-family home when I could build that same home for 400,000.
Wow.
This
See?
was your partner.
Right.
So y'all got to be careful out here. Okay.
Wow.
So I had to tell her, like, your partner should not be charging you this much money.
Wow.
And again, she don't know. And it's not just women that get got like that; it's men too. So whether it's my community or somebody else's, you need to get in communities where you're looking to develop, or at least the people that know the language, so they can tell you how to contend for what you want out there in the marketplace, right? Tell you how to negotiate with builders, how to partner with people strategically, not just go by what they say, but really go out there and finding at least 3 to 5 people that's bidding on your project. So you could be like, hey, you told me this high number, but 5 other people said something different, much lower, and they have the work and the proof to back it up. So
Yeah, I'm very leery because my background is real estate. So, in my experience, I'm not saying it may not be true for anyone coming up or everyone coming up under the sound of my voice, but the number one scams and the craziest stories I ever heard were through the real estate industry in the community.
Construction
Like,
specifically.
even the mentorship, it was some dude. I don't even really want to say his name because I'm gonna get sued, but he's real big.
You can send me his number, his name, and behind the scenes.
Oh my God. I know so many people went into his mentorship and got for 80,000. He was literally charging $80,000.
What was
I
that?
saw an ad from him, like I want to say last year, and I was like, he's still around? Like he needs security. Like I literally met
You
so
from where I'm from? Like he from up here?
no, this guy, I don't know where he's from.
Okay.
But if I say the name,
You can tell me. You can.
I'm gonna tell you. I don't need no claim on my insurance because I'll be on this platform popping off.
Listen, you can text me. We'll talk about it later.
Yeah,
I believe it. I believe it.
but I'm just saying, like, I've seen and heard and experienced and witnessed, not experienced, witnessed some crazy scams to the point where real estate is so many people. It's almost like 50% of the entrepreneurs that I know, they want to get into real estate. They've just been taught real estate, but a lot of us do not respect the industry. Same thing with financial literacy. We want money, but we'll try to go get it and then we'll quit and we'll stop. We don't respect it. We will just, we will not pay for guidance and mentorship. A lot of us.
Yeah.
And it will keep you standing in place your entire life.
Hmm.
Definitely before you guys, I tell people that all the time when I come across someone and I ask them what they want to do with the funding and they tell me some crazy story and I listen to them. I'm very patient. I hear them out. Yeah, I want to go and go develop a deal and me and my cousin and this, that, and the other. And I'm like, what is your experience in real estate? Oh no, this is my first project. And then I ask them questions. I literally have a question for my team to ask them, like, if you don't have experience in that, how could you know for sure like you're going to win in
Right.
this fix and flip? Who told you that?
Right.
Who even know that this is the environment for fix and flip? You see what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's like, guys, like Dion is telling you, she just gave you a lot of nuggets. Definitely, if you're looking to get into development, do your due diligence. I think development, my opinion, I'm not the expert here, but make it better what I'm about to say here and with some facts. I think in almost anything you can do, with the exception of that material, because my education when it comes to real estate, things come in cycles.
Right.
The fix and flip is good, wholesaling is good, development may be good, but I feel that development outside of that isolated incident when the building materials were expensive,
Right.
outside of that, you can, I think it's one of the safest ways to be in the real estate industry, but it requires so much. Like you said, you
Yeah.
need that skill set, you need that history, you need to understand people, you need to understand how to manage people, you need to, all of that, you need to, yeah. So I think that's the only challenge, but I think in any environment, anyone that I've seen that was in development, in almost any environment, recession, non-recession, they always come out on top and get some form of profit of some sort. Like it's crazy.
Yeah. So, and this is why a newbie should not be going out here over leveraging themselves and buying, $250,000 lots. That's what I'm teaching you, how to buy land for $1. That's what I'm teaching you, how to buy land.
Well, explain to them what over leverage mean.
Yeah. So, I mean,
Leveraging is too much credit and funding.
yeah,
Yeah,
we don't know what's going to happen with this market.
exactly.
Tomorrow, it could just literally be World War III and or God forbid, China hacks our banking system. Who knows what the hell is happening out here? We don't know. So at least if you had to sit on some land and it only cost you $1, you ain't really losing. You're not gonna lose nothing, right? Even if you had to wait for the actual economy to get back to speed, at least you're not over leveraged. You're not out of pocket hundreds of thousands of dollars just on the land. So I teach people how to find these affordable opportunities where it matches their current budget, right? Even myself, I'm not out here again trying to spend $250,000 just on land and or property when I know I can go buy property and land for under $10,000 and as low as $1.
Or
Okay.
partnering with someone charging you 700,000. That's crazy.
Yeah, I would never. I would
Okay.
never.
Yeah, thank you so very much for being here. This was a very educational talk. If anyone wants to get in touch with you, how can they reach you?
So it's my name at Deontay Chantel on Instagram and on TikTok. And then I do have a podcast and I also have a YouTube channel. I don't know if y'all could see me from my YouTube channel right now, but it's at Journey to Develop Her. Okay. Now, if you look for me under this name on YouTube, I do have a page where it's not active. So you'll be subscribing to the wrong page. So make sure on YouTube it's at Journey to Develop Her. That's the name of our podcast as well. The Journey to Develop Her podcast. And yeah, I do have a checklist as well. You can go to the first deal blueprint.com/, I think it's checklist. I think I'm over here going blank. But if you go to my Instagram, everything is there. Okay. Links are in the bio. We even have a free group chat on Telegram where we just share tips and, you know, affordable opportunities that you all should go after.
100%. Yeah. And for me, I'm Mrs. Cash Flows on all platforms. Just tap into YouTube. I give up a lot of free game. I run into people every day saying, "Oh my God, I ran your play and I got," or why I want to call it a play.
Oh, I didn't get to ask you no questions.
No, it's cool. What questions do you have for me, Dion?
I didn't get to ask no questions. But no, we're about to log off. Well, again, thank you for having me.
I mean, if you have any questions, I'll answer one, maybe two.
You actually answered all the questions in the private community. You blessed us with your presence. Again, everybody, y'all should be tapping in with Mrs. Cashflow. If you're not, you're playing. I always tell people they're playing themselves because y'all just be playing yourself. But she's definitely the go-to for helping you structure yourself, your business, so you can in turn go get your capital, right? Because you will need money to do the things that you want to do. It may not be your money, but you're going to need somebody's money. So we thank you, Mrs. Cashflow, for even teaching the game, because a lot of your reels are very informative, I must say. So just you making reels, that's enough, right? But yeah, I need to really tap in with her so you can start to do your deals with myself and whoever else you gravitate to, because you're gonna need money to actually do it.
100%. This is amazing. Thank you for blessing us. Everyone, tap in with Dion, tap in with me, get your checklist, just get started. Don't be intimidated, guys. And don't think you know it, you know it all, right? Or just decondition yourself. Like, look at your real estate and see what it is. If development is something that you want to get into, and I'll say this, Dion, I know it's coming to me. A lot of people were burned in the past. I know if you tried to do real estate and you were not careful, more than likely you got burned at some point. And thank God, I'm just the type of person that really does her due diligence.
Yep.
And I've been burned, but not in real estate. Another thing in my industry, when it comes to banking, everyone is trying to tell you the reason you have Dion on this platform is because she's real. Okay. A lot of people like to sell you fantasies and tell you things that may or may not happen and sell it as true, and you're being misled. So it's kind of true, right? And then you're thinking from these inflated numbers and these inflated ideals, and it's a fallacy. Same thing in my industry. You see these people telling you you can get funding, without credit. Yeah, you can do that and leverage your capital coming in, but are they explaining to you that this is a daily takeout? You don't you you don't know what that is until it's too late to
Right.
They give you an approval for 75,000. You're like, oh my God, I got 75,000. But do you? Now they're taking out the payments every week, the merchant cash advances. A lot of those people who's going viral and yelling out all these banks and pointing up are trapping a lot of people, and it's really a shame because you see Dion explain to you that this is a journey. This was several years for her to get to this level. No one just pops off overnight and go to the bank like in my industry and go get $200,000 EIN only. Get like
That's not happening. That's not happening. You're right. It's a journey.
tap into the free resources. Take your time. No one's pressuring you. I do this for free. Okay. I will talk to you all day long about money. So let's get it done. Tap in. If you have any questions, I'm always happy to help. Thank you so very much, Dion. Thanks everyone who has joined us. I'm so appreciative of you. All right.
Love you, girl.
All right. Love you too. Bye, guys.